Hi, I'm Sue Althouse with the Indiana Federation of Democratic Women. I would like to welcome all to join us today as we commemorate the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America, which gave women the right to vote. This was a 72-year effort by many women from several factions and like minded strong women who had first gathered in Seneca Falls, New York. Their undertaking was realized on August 26, 1920, when the 19th Amendment was enacted. Over the past century, women have made more gains with our continued struggle for equal rights, but yet to see the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment. I've seen much of our revolution and evolution in my lifetime. We have much work more to go, and yet to do. We start by recognizing our history, educating, empowering, involving our women, and organize as we work towards these goals. Women are the majority of the population in the United States, but yet to have equal status under the law. We must engage all women to take this effort to the political arena, whether it's to take the challenge of being politically involved or just using your hard earned right to vote. Your officers of the Indiana Federation of Democratic Women wanted to share some thoughts with you today as we celebrate this centennial. Each have an ideal and vision of what equality means to them. I would also like to encourage each of you to reflect on this. Although we may have many more obstacles to overcome, my vision of equality is to see the day that we don't have to continue fighting for many rights such as equal pay and, and have complete autonomy of our bodies. Once we've gained the rule of law, we can eventually be accepted socially by all in our society. Thank you for allowing us to share our thoughts with you today, and happy Equality Day.
Thank you, Sue. Next, we'll have Annette Johnson, a member at large.
Hello, everyone. My name is Annette Johnson, and I'm a member at large for the Indiana Federation of Democratic Women. Women's Equality Day is very important to me. As we think about Women's Equality Day, what does it mean? It means a day where women have equality in all areas of life, but particularly in the areas of education, political representation, workplace leadership, as we work hard to have jobs and be equally paid. I think back to Women's Equality Day and celebrate the anniversary. Think about this. It was the amendment of the women's right to vote for the first time. And as a result, women all around the country were so excited. I even think back to women's equality in 1851, when Sojourner Truth at a women's convention in Akron, Ohio, and as a former slave, she delivered the speech that everyone knows her by, "Ain't I a Woman?" How amazing was that? 1851, as women were struggling and working hard and advocating for women to be able to vote and have the right to equality. This amendment, again, remains dear in my heart, as so many women before me struggled and worked hard. And that's what Women's Federation of Democratic Women are. We are women that continue to work hard. We continue the pace before that was set before with women before us. We fight hard on equal rights, and no one is going to be spared. Think about this: women's right, women's equality. We will continue down the pathway. We will continue to work hard for women's equality. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Next, we'll have Leona Glaze-Brooks, our first vice president.
Hello, how are you? In celebration of Equality Day, all right, it's been 100 years, and back then they had to fight for equality, not just for themselves, but for everyone else. And because of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, when we were challenged 100 years ago in fighting for our democracy. Women were key that we did not lose our democracy then, and they are key to saving our democracy now. And so that's why Equality Day means so much, because today and 100 years ago, democracy is not free. It must be fought, and the cornerstone of that fight are women. Thank you.
Thank you, Leona. Next is Roxana Lucas Murray, our second vice president.
Hi. Equality to me means so many things, but mostly my independence. I can be myself, I can do what I want, go where I want, and I don't have to have somebody escort me or along with me. I don't need anybody's permission. I don't have to have a husband, although I do, but I can have my own credit cards. I can have my own checking account. I can have my own property. I can have my own inheritance. Women didn't always be able to say that. Women weren't always able to say that or to do what they wanted. I can work outside of my home. I can belong to a union and run for office, whether it's in the city or in the county or in the state or federally. I can run and hold an office. I can run for office inside my union. I'm grateful for everyone who came before us in order to get us these opportunities, these rights, these freedoms. I can vote, and my vote is my voice, and I'm heard. And when I'm excited about something, upset about something, I can write to my legislators, I can call them, and they listen because I use my vote and I use my voice. Women's issues are everyone's issues, and those are some of the many things that our equality rights mean to me. I'm grateful for everyone who came before us and fought for these opportunities, and I promise to continue to fight for women and women's opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxana. Next is me, and my name is Christine Lowe, and I'm the third vice president. To me, equality means being able to use my voice and have people listen to my words rather than focusing on how I look, what I'm wearing, or my age. It means having my decisions, choices, and accomplishments taken seriously rather than something that can be brushed off or discounted because of my gender. Equality means being able to take up space and not feel like I need to shrink in order to make people feel more comfortable. And equality is being able to have ambitions and goals without people thinking that I'm uppity or aggressive. Most importantly, equality to me means being able to vote, to protest, and to run for office, and to make this country into a place where everything that I just mentioned is actually true. All right, so next is Lynette Boswell-Smith. She's our secretary, and Lynette was not able to join us today. So next up is Megan Althouse. She has the Office of Membership, and we will watch her video now.
Gender equality needs to be in the framework of our government, but right now the Constitution does not protect against gender discrimination. The only right guaranteed to women in the Constitution is the right to vote. And I don't think that women can truly be equal until we are protected by the Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment is crucial because people in power have the ability to repeal existing laws and possibly infringe on women's rights. We see this in healthcare, education, the legal system, and much more currently. For me, being equal would mean that the government can't infringe on my healthcare rights and I would have full control over my body, especially when it comes to reproductive health care. It would also mean that I have equal legal opportunities, equal employment opportunities, and equal pay. The field I'm entering is dominated by women, but studies show that when women enter a field that was dominated by men, the average salary for the industry drops, which is why there needs to be legislation prohibiting this. Being equal would mean that when I graduate college and enter my field, I won't be denied potential advancements due to my gender, I won't be paid less, and if I choose to become pregnant, I won't be discriminated against. I would have equal opportunities for advancement, and I would feel at ease knowing my rights would be protected by the Constitution. That is what equality would mean for me, but I'm sure the Equal Rights Amendment would provide many different benefits for other women in different stages of life and in different situations.
Next up is Wilma Gold Jones, our PAC treasurer.
Hello, everyone. I've did a nosedive. My name is Wilma Gold Jones, and I thank Indiana Federation of Democratic Women for allowing me to talk about equality. And I actually did a Googled a definition. Equality is typically defined as treating everyone the same and giving everyone access to the same opportunities, while equity refers to the proportional representation by race, class, gender, etc., in those same opportunities. African American women began to agitate for political rights in the 1830s, creating female anti-slavery societies in New York and Philadelphia. These interracial groups were radical expressions of women's political ideas, and they led directly to voting rights activism long before the Civil War. Throughout the 19th century, African American women like Harriet Fordin Purvis, Mary Ann Shadd Cary, and Frances Ellen Watkins Harper worked on two fronts simultaneously, reminding African American men and white women that Black women needed legal rights, especially the right to vote. And throughout those struggles, we are 100 years from the ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920. Women like Fannie Lou Hamer, Ella Baker, and Diana Nash continued that fight since the 1920s, because we do know that even though the 1920s gave women the right to vote, not all women were free to vote. There was terror. Families were terrorized. They had poll tax. All of those things were hindrance to all Americans having equality and equity for the right to vote. And African American women knew that it was going to take education and the power of the vote in order for them to truly enjoy a fair and equitable society. So I owe all my homage to the women that have come before me and allowed me the right to join an organization to be educated, to advocate, but I do realize that nobody's free until we are all free to move forward and exercise our right to vote. So I say 2020, we have an opportunity to elect our first African American vice president, which is a great honor. We were disappointed in 2016 that we were unable to elect a woman as a white woman as president, but we are going to move forward, and we are not going to let anyone stop us. Just like Sojourner Truth says, ain't I a woman? Yes, woman power. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilma. Next, we have Deborah Porter, a member at large.
So Equality Day means a lot to me. When I think about what the suffragettes went through, I think about how they were humiliated, they were ridiculed, they were just made fun of, they were berated publicly. They were arrested, they were tortured, they were jailed for long periods of time, and yet they still fought on. But the suffragettes in and of themselves didn't have the ability to give themselves the right to vote. What they had to do was convince their allies, the men who were able to vote, to give them the right to vote. So that brings me to today. You see, we have right now going on people whose right to vote is being hampered, taken away from them, limited. And we as allies need to be strong and stand up and use our voice and use our power, to use our ability to make sure that that right to vote is given freely to everyone who has the right to vote, that there is nothing stopping them, that there are no barriers, that everybody who has the right to vote has the ability to freely exercise that right to vote. And that's what equality means to me, because nobody is equal until we are all equal.
So next up is Paula Gillum, also a member at large.
Good afternoon, ladies. I'm glad to be a part of Indiana Federation for Democratic Women. I'm a proud Democratic woman, and to stand, excuse me, on the shoulders of my ancestors, since when I walk into the room, I represent Hamilton County, Boone County, and Madison County, for my descendants from the Roberts settlement came in the 1830s. Part of the Roberts is Madam C.J. Walker, who's a very strong woman. As for me, I've been standing for my family and for all the descendants for a long time. I think we've came a long way, but we're still got a long way to go. By being a UAW member and been a member for a long time before me, my father and grandfather, my mother started out in 1944 working at General Motors, but like back then, the husbands wanted the women to be at home taking care of us kids. So having a voice and in Hamilton County and not being just a Republican is my main thing. And like I keep telling Hamilton County, we got a long way to go, because Republicans have taken it since the 1800s. My great uncle ran in 1880 and my great grandfather said, "We've done all you ask us to. Now can we have a chance?" We never have had a chance in Hamilton County. So for me, in 2007, I came forward to run for office. I said I got tired of going to vote and I didn't have nobody to vote for. So from now on, I said, if I have to be like the other guy and run every year, I'll run. But until we all are equal, and I'm waiting for that day, I'll be 69 years old. And 69 years, it's been the rough year of this 64 of the years. I can say it's been rough from going to school here. We didn't have segregated schools. We went to school, but didn't realize how they were holding us back. And they picked the ones they wanted to hold back. So until we're all free, until we as a people stand together, that's my goal, to stand together as a people and as a Black woman. And I'm so glad Kamala Harris is going to be nominated for the vice president, and we can all stand together. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you all for sharing your wonderful reflections on equality. And thank you all for watching. You can feel free to contact the Indiana Federation of Democratic Women at indemwomen@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook by searching for our name. And we will be having a virtual fall meeting coming up soon, and we will be announcing that date in the fall. So I hope you'll join us there.
I would like to say thank you for everyone for acknowledging Equality Day, and always keep it in your thoughts and in your mind. And hopefully someday we can all celebrate together when we have true equality. Thank you.
Thank you.